see.
Lee, you're on.
Welcome to Unity in Harlem. I pray all is well with everyone in reference to their health and their mental self, and particularly their spirit. I pray that everyone is surviving this virus as well as following all the necessary things that's going to keep you safe in terms of a mask and a glove. Again, welcome to Unity in Harlem. God bless all of you that are here today and those that aren't here today as well. I'm going to turn this over to Annette, who is going to give us our daily word for today. Again, every
Sunday, August 23rd, 2020. From the Daily Words today, it's inner peace. The peace of God fills your mind, your heart, and your life. Quiet moments in a fragrant garden, a stroll by a lake or stream, or a visit to any place of beauty inspires a deep awareness of peace. We also enjoy peace in the company of friends, those with whom we have easy camaraderie and deep bonds. Growing in spiritual awareness, we claim inner peace wherever we are. Sunday, August 23rd, 2020. From the Daily Words today, it's inner peace. The peace of God fills your mind, your heart, and your life. Quiet moments in a fragrant garden, a stroll by a lake or stream, or a visit to any place of beauty inspires a deep awareness of peace. We also enjoy peace in the company of friends, those with whom we have easy camaraderie and deep bonds. Growing in spiritual awareness, we claim inner peace wherever we are.
Isaiah 55 verse 11 says, "So shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I purpose, and shall succeed in the thing for which I sent it." Unity affirmations speak to the power of our words, and particularly the power of I am. And so we say this affirmation every Sunday to affirm our divine nature. The words are on the screen, and I invite you to say them with me. I am an abundant, radiating center of God's love and light for peace, healing, and inner truth for all.
We welcome the presence of Almighty God, Holy Spirit, with the song, I Am Your Temple. I am your temple, my heart, your holy of holies. Each breath is sanctified to you. I am your temple, my heart, your holy of holies. sanctified. Each breath is sanctified.
Thank you, Marie, for that beautiful rendition, leading us to be focused on ourselves as the temple of the living God. We see ourselves many ways, but the ultimate truth about who we are is that we house within ourselves the very presence of the Creator. And this is the temple that we are called to be in as much as we can. The song also reminds us, and is perfect for our talk today, for it is in being in the temple, relaxing into the temple, that we get this notion of who we truly are and can hear it and feel it. I invite you now to become still and quiet, to find your place that's comfortable, to have your hands in your lap in a comfortable way. And it's best to be sitting with your back straight. And of course, close your eyes. This helps to eliminate what you see in your outer world for a moment, just for a moment. And now, with your thoughts, think about your breath, your breathing. Think about the breath and connect to this easy rhythm within you, a rhythm that you are not aware of, that is going on all the time, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in your way, breathing out your way. Get a feel of your own rhythm and possibly your own sound. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And as you breathe in and breathe out, you may notice places in your body that are uncomfortable. You can direct the breath to that place. And exhale, allowing it to relax. You can whisper as you breathe in and breathe out. Relax. Be still. Be still. Search for any other places that might feel tight or tense. And again, breathe in and breathe out, sending the breath to those places, allowing them to relax, to be still, to become quiet. I breathe in. I breathe out. And now take a little deeper breath. Go a little deeper. And exhale. Breathe in deeper. And exhale. And as you breathe in deeper still, you inhale, hold that breath. And exhale. Again, breathe in a little deeper. Hold the breath. And exhale. And one last deep breath. Breathe in deeply. And exhale slowly. Breathe in deeply again. Exhale slowly. Return to normal breathing. Feel yourself in a deep, quiet space. Be still and know. Be still and know. I am the temple of the living God. Feel that and know it. Feel blessed by the truth of who you really are. Let this truth be like a light, being released from within. And feel this light all around you. You are at the center of this light. Your light. The light that creates your pathway, your walkway. Spirit says, walk ye in it. You are protected. No harm can come to you. Your path, lit by your inner light. Your light opens your mind of understanding. You are awakened to what you did not know before. You are awakened to hear a new truth, a new idea, born of the goodness and the light from within. You follow this. Wherever it leads, knowing it is for your highest good. The light at the center opens your heart. Your heart opens to all the good already there, and you release that good into your world. You feel love, compassion, harmony. You release it and allow it to touch all that is important to you. You are in the light, in the light of only good. Be still and know you are the temple. And in the temple, at the center of the temple, is light. the light of understanding, the light that guides your feet and protects your path. Feel now all the good that you are. Feel yourself open and receptive to even more. Feel yourself energized for the next step, the next understanding, the next opportunity to love and be compassionate. And you begin to return to this space, this original space, feeling refreshed and renewed, feeling good. You take a deep breath and release it. Again, take a deep breath. Release. Relaxed. Quiet. Still. Open. And ready. In the name of the Christ mind, we pray and say yes and amen. We have been thinking about the breath for this month and linking the breath to our five senses. Today we are going to reflect on hear, our hearing, to hear, and see what messages we can think about and use, especially during this time of the pause, the great pause, and see the value of looking deeper into the senses and cultivating your own personal relationship with your senses. We're familiar, more than familiar, with our physical sense of hearing. We recognize how blessed we are to be able to hear. And we know that medical science has done so much to invent and improve our hearing ability, and particularly for our neighbors and friends who have a difficulty with hearing impairment. I can recall in my work every year having the Lexington School for the Deaf in the city come in and do a presentation about the ear and hearing loss and update older people on what was new in the world of hearing aids. But they also spent a lot of time, which I always appreciated, on having a discussion about individuals who would not allow themselves to anyone to know, would not disclose that they were having a problem hearing, particularly older people. Somehow they felt embarrassed or they felt it was their fault. And as a result, would not say what was going on with their physical hearing. I remember one session when they demonstrated all these different hearing aids, and they showed the one that was being used at that time for then President Clinton. And he had a history, and does to this day, of hearing loss. Of course, the price for that particular hearing aid was a little out of all of our ranges, but it just would allow you to know that they were always increasing, changing, to the extent that for any of us who might be aware, you can't even hardly tell with some people whether they have a hearing aid or not. I want to quote from a random internet site. Today's hearing aids are 100,000 times more powerful than the computer that landed the Apollo 11 on the moon. They are 2.5 times more powerful than the first Apple phone. Hearing aids can support how the brain makes sense of sound and run sophisticated algorithms that can deliver the most natural, comfortable hearing experience in the most challenging environments. You can imagine what that is today with information overload everywhere. I raise this because the medical profession then and now continues to make hearing aids and other hearing assists available to live productively. And so, but it's not saying to me this widely discussed how to improve or give assist to improve inner hearing. Inner hearing. In fact, I've found that some people's response to if someone says, well, what I received or I am sharing from my inner self, they view it with skepticism, sometimes suggesting that any message a person would receive in this matter, well, you really can't fully trust it. Or another response could be, you know, especially in our circles of truth, if they know that that's what you're about, it's too intellectual because it's based on all that analyzing. And it's far too much work to do that. So inner healing in the general conversation is really not talked about that much or understood in our circles. Last Sunday, I referenced Myrtle Fillmore's book on healing letters, where she talks about our senses. And this is what she says about hearing. To know how to hear is with the mind, and discern and discriminate between what's true, what's real, and what's worthwhile. Over against, and I'm adding, now her words again, clatter, foolishness, and that's not organized under law. So she's saying we use our mind for our hearing, for what we hear, to understand and to give us a perspective on what we hear. However, if we do not use this, our hearing, our natural ability to hear, is not used and organized under law, we will not be able to really discern and discriminate between what's really true, what's real, and what's worthwhile. The law that she is speaking about is not the physical law that about healing or of healing. She's talking about the spiritual science, that law, spiritual law, divine mind, what we summarize and say truth. So if it's not organized, your hearing, your natural hearing around truth or in that framework, our thoughts are not truly disciplined, spiritually disciplined for what we are hearing with our natural ear. We will not be able to discern and discriminate and know what's real, true, and worthwhile. And then she simply adds, this is a high calling. And she says, in order to do this, we must remind ourselves so we don't give up what we think is our freedom and our freedom of choice and action. We just simply must practice being receptive and obedient. Receptive and obedient. Now let's hear what her husband had to say. The hearing ability is to look deeper than words and catch the inner meaning. And then he says, he that has ears, let him hear, from Matthew, the 13th chapter. And he goes on to say that when we see the word ear, in the Bible, it really is referring to inner hearing. It's not about the physical hearing or the organ, the actual ear. So there's this story in the Bible that we know about. And this is about the man that Jesus ran into who could not speak or hear. This is a remarkable story because he got the benefit of touch and hearing, 2 for 1. But the most important part is what Jesus did. The first thing he did is that he took him apart, away from the crowd, privately, it says. Well, I think this is what Myrtle was talking about, to go off. And what we'd say, we have to shut out the noise that we are constantly hearing. Remove ourselves physically. That's what Jesus did. But also, when we remove ourselves, to set aside all those thoughts going on all the time and leave them. So this was a good example of what he was demonstrating, so that the foolishness and the chatter or clatter, as Myrtle said, can be removed. We will say sometimes, now let me get this straight, sorting it out in our mind. Let me get my thoughts together. And we'll take a moment to do that because we have thought overload for a variety of reasons. So much going on in our mind all the time. And so this call to set them aside, take that time to get rid of the foolishness and remove ourselves is important. And now to emphasize it more, what did Jesus do? He put his fingers into the man's ears. He didn't want him to hear anything. He wanted to emphasize even the thoughts that you've got. Don't hear that. And you can imagine this man's thoughts. He couldn't express them to anybody. So this is all he had, was what was going on in his head. So he put his fingers in his ears, and then he spit and touched his tongue. I've thought about the spit. What was that all about? Well, you know, when we accumulate saliva and we want to get rid of it, just naturally, or when we eat or drink something we don't want, I think it's a reference to keeping our mouth clean and empty. That might be a far stretch. You may have an idea about it. But anyway, he spit. He got rid of whatever it was he had in his mouth. And then he prayed and proclaimed, "Be opened. Be opened." And when he did those steps, the man's tongue was released and his ears opened. 2 for 1. But you may say, really? He couldn't hear. You're right, but he could feel. He could feel the vibrations. How many times have we known people who lose one sense and for whatever reason and they develop other senses that are keen, sharp, perhaps keener and sharper than ours, who of us who have all five senses operating. And it also goes back to this idea of the physical hearing aids, how the mind, because this is what they say, we hear with the mind makes sense of sound and runs sophisticated algorithms. The mind makes sense of sound and touch. Amazing. Jesus, Charles, and Myrtle, way ahead in how to handle the clatter and the foolishness, the noise of the outer world. I've shared before my experience with the accumulation of thoughts and trying to get a handle on them. And mine way came through a dream, if you remember. It was in the early days of my involvement in Unity, and I was making that transition from what my consciousness before and what I was entering. And I had a lot of dreams, and I was figuring them out symbolically. I was forever going back to my neighborhood where I grew up. I mean, I was having all these dreams, and it's like, oh, here I am again, walking down the streets of my old neighborhood. And I knew what that was. It was symbolic of me leaving the old, completely leaving the old in consciousness and entering a new space within myself. At any rate, in this particular dream, I was in some kind of auditorium, and there were people everywhere. They were talking to each other. They were lollygagging, sitting with their legs crossed, sitting with their legs up. I mean, they were just there having a good time. And the room was full of all of these people. When I woke up, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. Because I recognized, and through my own discipline, these were my thoughts. And it was clatter. Big time. I thought I was getting a handle on my thinking, actually. But I realized my dream was showing me the work I had to do on the inner dimension of myself. And so my task going forward was to do more work to control my thinking, control my thoughts. And as Fillmore says, those who have ears, let them hear. Let them hear. Perhaps you consider your thoughts of the past as well as the present. They could be your company in this time of challenge. They can become your regular companions that occupy your time depending on your particular challenge during this great pause. Perhaps these are thoughts that have seen you through tough times, or they're thoughts that have been there to soothe you with special remembrances of good times. Some may be even challenges for things you know you should be doing but have not done. And then some of them may be of remorse that you have not let go of, primarily because you have not found new thoughts to replace them. Whatever they are, whatever they may be, if they are the crowd you meet up with on a daily basis, where is the time left to have that conversation with your inner ear? I suppose I could create a system of steps to do perhaps 10 steps over 10 days or 21 steps over 21 days. They could be adapted to get to the core of reducing our dependency, your dependency on the constant chatter and foolishness that take so much of your time. I don't think I can improve on the Fillmores, at least not yet. His ultimate suggestion from last week, if you remember, was cultivating the use of the I am presence in us. And that by doing this, we multiply the capability, the depth, and capacity of our senses, is just by calling forth our I am presence. When we are thinking about, what is this? Is this real? Not real? Is this true? And I would add what Myrtle says: be receptive and obedient. Receptive is to believe that the I am of you can do this work on your behalf. And being obedient, that's being regular. That's being consistent. And we want consistency and stability during these days. And as she says, to do this is a real accomplishment. It's almost understated. This we do know. We have the capacity to believe and do whatever we want to believe and do. Isaiah 43 reminds us, behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the distance, in the desert. There is a hymn that some people sing that can be used, I think, in this instance. And I'm just going to read the words. I come to the garden alone, where the dew is still on the roses. The voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses. He walks with me, he talks with me, and tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. This is the promise of inner healing, inner listening. Come along, Leave everything at the door. The dew, you bring a clean, fresh inner opening, your heart. The Christ of you in the quiet speaks, travels with you in your experiences. You own what you hear because it is the real you, the I am. And the experience is pure joy. Pure joy. In Psalms, but in their delight is the law of the Lord. In all that they do, they prosper. Blessings to you, my friend. Blessings. Let us continue with our prayer requests and love offering. Perhaps you have a special someone or something that you would want to hold in your heart right now and have that join with all of us in this circle of prayer. And as you think about what is in your heart and your desire, see it in the center of light. See it becoming all that you desire for it to become, all that you desire for that friend, that family member, that acquaintance. Whatever it happens to be, know that the light that emanates right now from you and all of us surrounds your request right now. And that light brings healing, understanding, love, and only good. We let go any concern that we may carry, knowing that in spirit, in the I am, it is already accomplished. And we see it unfolding and wait with patience for the full manifestation. We hold this for one another right now and know that the blessings of holding it in high consciousness is the very source of its unfoldment. And now let us turn our attention to our love offering. We see the gift that we would want to share with this ministry and those that this ministry touches, and the world and an environment we are in. And let us give thanks that the presence of Spirit in us brings forth this gift, and we give easily, comfortably, knowing that the spirit of it returns to us tenfold. It is in our giving that we truly receive, and not the other way around. And so we give easily, freely, for Spirit has given to us without question. And we live in that prosperity. We are familiar with the words that we say. I will say them once, and then you will join me as we say it one more time. Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Shall we all know it together? Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is.
All right. We have this week's announcements. And there is Tuesday evening study group.
No, I can quickly do them if you want.
Oh, I would prefer you do. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
The first thing I want to remind everybody is to join us on Zoom for a time of sharing together or dial in. The Monday meditations continue, and the last one for the month of August is for tomorrow. And then on starting September the 1st, we will begin our 30-day spiritual fitness meditations for the month, which are every day. So you can tune in and hear the 10-minute meditation and what we call the TNT, your teaching tip for the day. Spiritual fitness every day starting September 1. The Tuesday group remains in recess for August, and our first Tuesday experience when we return will be September the 8th at 6 p.m., and we will start right up where we left off in our book about relationships, The Eye of the Storm. And on the 10th of August, before I go there, let me, Friday, the 28th, our prayer circle from 6 to 7 will continue. How I will be the person on the call to do the prayer. So I hope you all will dial in for a Friday time of quiet and your requests for prayer. But I do want to remind you, September 10th is World Day of Prayer, and you'll be getting a flyer about it, as well as I hope you will be telling your friends. It will be on Zoom and dial in, and we have 8 participants. I won't name them now, but I am looking forward to a wonderful time of prayer, a little music. Tommy Thompson will be singing, and words from each of our guests for the evening. Marie will come now and lead us in the next selection.
Share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Thank you so much, Carol, for that lovely message about hearing and reducing the clutter of our lives. That was my grandmommy's favorite hymn. I come to the garden alone. And so now in that spirit, let's sing I love you, Lord. It's so important to praise. Praise and gratitude is one way of simplifying, isn't it? I love you, Lord, and we exalt thee. I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you, oh my soul. Rejoice, take joy, my King, in what you hear. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. I love you, Lord. Come on, let's sing. I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you, oh my soul. Rejoice, take joy, my King, in what you hear. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. Let's sing that again. I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you, oh my soul. Rejoice, take joy, my King, in what you hear. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. We exalt thee, we exalt thee, we exalt thee. Joy, my King, in what you hear. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. We exalt thee, we exalt thee, we exalt thee. Oh, sons and daughters of the Most High, we exalt thee. Oh God, oh Lord, we exalt thee. Lord God, Lord God, we exalt thee, yeah, yeah. We exalt thee, oh, oh God. Ooh, yeah. Ah. Gratitude. Very, very important, isn't it, Carol? Thank you so much, Carol Hunt.
Thank you. That's beautifully done. And so now we will join in the prayer of protection and our peace song. So, shall we begin with the prayer of protection?
The light of God
God
surrounds
surrounds
us.
us.
The
The
love
love of
of
God
God
enfolds
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 us.
us.
The
the power of God
God
protects
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 us.
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 And the
The
presence
presence
of
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 God
God
watches
watches
over us.
over
us.
us.
Wherever
Wherever
we
we
are,
are,
God
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 is,
is,
and
and
all
all
is well.
is well.
And now for our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. All right, everybody together,
All
hands
right.
folded, held high.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you. And see you, everyone. Thank you all for being with us today. And join us for a few moments, in a few minutes.